Monday night, I'm going to be doing a podcast that's recorded live on Twitch with another community member. So if you're around Monday evening, I'll post about that in Discord and Twitter. I think I'm vibing on this till post-Wolf, although I have Falcon. My wife and kids actually went out to the camper a day early without me. I decided to stay home and make Marvel Snap content today. And Benjamin Broad is reminding me that maybe that was a bad decision based on how much we've been a pigeon or a statue today. Like, oh, did I want to take a day off early, eh, streamer? Those are life choices we can make you feel things about. Icarus, thank you for the prime, I appreciate it. You shared your thoughts on custom borders. I see you aren't rocking any. I think the custom borders are way too expensive, and I never intend to spend any of my own hard-earned dosh on custom borders. That being said, I'm a reasonable human being who, when a feature doesn't appeal to me or I think it's too expensive, I can just not engage with it rather than complaining endlessly about it on social media. Was Prime nerfed this month or next month? The Amazon Prime nerfs go into effect on June 3rd. So soon, TM. Prime is no longer meta, asking the real questions. I'm gonna do this. Punt the left. I guess I could put the demon here. And play for all three. Playing for all three is probably right. Yeah, they punted the right. For people that haven't heard the news on Amazon Prime nerfs, Daddy Bezos is tightening his purse strings, and starting on June 3rd, all Prime subs will be worth 10 to 20% less, with some of them being worth significantly less than that. So, Prime subs in US and Canada will be worth $2.25, down 10% from $2.50, and Prime subs outside of the US and Canada on average will be worth about $1.09. So getting cut by over half on average. Basically, how much your Prime sub will be worth on Twitch will be variable depending on how much you pay. How much you pay for your Prime membership. It will impact a lot of streamers' bottom lines. So I don't think your size of the streamer is necessarily how much it's gonna hit you with, so much as where your viewer base supports from. So like, I'm actually in a better off position than most, I would wager, because a majority of my subs actually come from the US and Canada. I would wager it will probably be people that have larger non-English speaking audiences where Prime is much cheaper that will now be worth significantly less. 410 Century is back. Can't nerf me, Benjamin. Scoma, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate it. The Mordor change really doesn't change anything. I think that's a very silly take. I think the Mordor change is a good example of the types of shots I am really happy to see Second Dinner take. You are correct that there is a very real chance that the Baron Mordor change means that he's still unplayable. However, his card is definitely just better than it was previously, and I'm glad that they are iterating on a card that is unplayable. I would also go so far as to argue it's a good thing that when they iterate on things, they don't overshoot and make them busted on the first go-round. Shradow Lord, thank you for the 39 months. It's very similar to what we saw happen with Adam Warlock, right? Where, like, they changed Adam Warlock, and he's definitely better than the completely unplayable card he was previously. But also, he's likely still not very good. And it's fine that he's not very good. They're gonna iterate on him some more. Do this, I think. I think it's just this. Them beasting backstage makes a lot of sense. How's this package feeling? To set a low bar, it feels like one of the better Werewolf decks I've played. We're adding 16 to the center. Dog jumps 3 times up to 13, plus another 8, so we're 25 on the right. We could lose mid if they play hard for mid, but I feel like they're going to play for left and right here, so I'm going to big stats on the right. Oh my god, what about the Void? Holy crap, Sentry has text. Alright, take 2. First Nico, then Sentry. No, I want a dog to end on the right. You're right, I could have pulled the dog right and then Sentry middle, but then I wouldn't have had a lot of points on the right. It's fine. Sage ends up being 10 power anyways.
Victory.
We're gonna chalk that one up to being early. Shout out to Twitch chat for the save. Praise to the undo button.
Oh, snap.
Wolf bounce decks in general are performing very badly. This has been the best performing Wolf bounce deck by a large margin for me so far. And pop dodged Iceman at least. A spotlight cannonball. It's actually a 700 gold cannonball. I might sage the left this next turn, we'll see. That is why we didn't do that. You get to punch Renslayer here at least. I'm gonna play the demon out because if I draw Iceman, I want to be able to Iceman plus Annie on the last turn. What about Wolf right now? Do you think that's causing for him to perform low bounce? He's struggling in general, not just bounce. There's two primary things that are making Wolf feel not like a great card. The first is that just all the numbers in the format are bigger than they were the last time Wolf was playable. The second is that, the last time Wolf was a really playable card, there was less incidental clutter in the game. There wasn't White Widows, there was less debris, the Nihilist wasn't everywhere. Bounce also in general just kind of struggles as an archetype. So they have priority. I assume they end their Wolf on the right? I feel like there's a good chance this wins the game. And we win here and here while losing Baxter Building. Synonym, thank you for the 15 months. Welcome back. Is Cannonball worth the tokens? These questions and more answered in my latest tier list video. Okay, Boomer. Thanks for the snap. Thanks for the snap.
Victory.
That was our to-win line. They thought I was locked in there with them, chat. Turns out they were locked in there with me. Alright, we're gonna play some more of this because it's set an incredibly low bar. It is the most competitive Wolf bounce deck we've played so far, based in large part due to the strength of the Annihilus package. We'll continue in 120 seconds with some more of it. Thanks for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. Would I be worth 6,000 tokens as a card? Almost assuredly, gamer. Believe in yourself. You're 6,000 tokens worthy. This is the Twitter content I need, chat. This is why you stay on the site. Went on an insane run with Sage Bounce today. Notably, Sage Bounce without Werewolf, because this deck doesn't want Werewolf in it. And Gnome replies with, replacement for being able to pilot the deck. I haven't bought it with tokens yet. This is the replacement you need to be asking for. This is the big one most gamers are missing. And it's extra funny, chat, because Gnome's played a ton of Bounce. Gnome and Woody are up there with myself in terms of Bounce enjoyers. They've played a lot of the archetype. Alright, chat, about an hour till lunch. Sounds like an hour for pedaling. I think Sage is just better than Wolf at this point. I think Sage is better than Wolf and better than Hitmonkey, yeah. I think there's some argument that some decks want to play Sage and Hitmonkey, but if it's one or the other, Sage is the better card. Widow into Sage into Beast is a delectable curve. Wanted to say the tier list video is truly excellent. The feedback on it's been really good. I'm happy with how it turned out. The editor nailed it per usual. I think I finally figured out a format that does a stellar job of helping people understand which cards they should be buying. I also think it's really interesting to me personally to see how the perspective that I have on picking up cards is so different. Like, I watch a lot of Marvel Snap content, obviously, and it's very common in other places for people to say, like, oh, you should get Jeff the Shark because you can put it in any deck. And I really think that's just, like, not what you should be doing with your resources when you're constrained. Am I supposed to get Wolf going, or am I supposed to get Beast? My instinct is to do the Beast because of Great Web, but this is definitely a higher upside play, getting the dog going. I have so many choices here. I think it's Beast Red Guardian. They do have our Cannonball's a good shout. That actually, them having our Cannonball makes Beast an even better choice, because it cleans the board up a little bit for us, yeah? This is one of the many reasons why I love this archetype. You look at spots like this, you're like, okay, I just have so many choices. There's so many ways this turn could play out. Very low chance I do it perfectly, and there's always something I can look to do better here, basically. Is New Century good? New Century is basically the same as Old Century with slightly less stat schemers. There's not some big, deep comparison that you're missing. They buffed Wolf for you. That's not true. I beasted first. My wolf literally ended up in the same spot regardless of Cannonball. Alright, so Sage is winning one path, and Dog is winning another. It's basically the TLDR here. Isn't the right order, though. How big am I here? 14. I'm one short, right? Two short. It's only 8. It's a lot of hate cards, gamers. Great Web hurting a good bit there, making it so that it was easier to predict where we're going to play at. Come on, gamers! It's not fair to make fun of my opponent playing Cosmo. It's not like literally every other card they played that game had an odd reveal ability. Oh shit, wait. To their credit, Maximus and Gladiator are at least on reveals you want to get rid of sometimes. I suppose. Snap. Here is a really good take. I'm gonna quote this one from Glenn Jones a lot in the future. Data has demonstrated over time that more power is more valuable than being vulnerable to Shang-Chi. No card has ever gained win/cube percentage moving below that line. Fucking end scene. In the history of Marvel Snap, there has never been a card that has ever had a performance increase because its power was reduced outside of Shang range. That is such a good reference bit to be able to have. Quantum Realm's annoying. Sure, the data says that, but my feelings. Oh man, should have believed it just played Century, huh? So less isn't more, it is not. Yes, Werewolf by night will chase his tail into deep space. But he won't come back out after. Isn't Hood anymore? I need Werewolf to end in the center.
Victory.
So I can't play Hood into Annie because then my dog ends left. He builds momentum to run into deep space, and due to the laws of physics, he never comes back. That's true, you know. Reality, thank you for the quarter of a year. Appreciate that. Welcome back. Snap on the White Widow draw here.
Opponent snapped.
That's our Hood from the cable. Two, 8, 4, 3. Aceman tier. I'd like to dedicate this Annihilus to my opponent who thinned my deck in multiple ways. I appreciate you. Coin flip hard. Missed our demon, but you know, is what it is. No.
Victory.
If you want to bounce with Werewolf, something close to these 12 cards I think should definitely be in your what's it called? Looking forward to either the new 5 stars next patch in Genshin. I've kind of hit this point in Genshin where their lack of endgame content kind of dampers my interest in new characters. Like, I can basically do all the endgame content in their game already, so new characters don't really add value for me, and it's a lot of grinding to build them. Like, I pulled for the Knave, and I just haven't actually built her yet because it's so grindy to build them. I'm, like, still, like, loosely doing the story stuff and other things in the game, but, like, my interest in pulling characters is at an all-time low. Yeah, I heard we're finally supposed to get a new piece of endgame, so maybe that'll be interesting. We'll see. Loosely optimistic that could be a thing. AFK Journey has dominated my hero collector time lately. I like it a lot. I think this will be... I think this current Battle Pass cycle in Genshin Impact will be the first time I don't buy the Battle Pass since I started playing 2 years ago. Siege turn? I think it's a siege turn just based on curve purposes. Although I guess I might play her on the last turn. If I'm not saging this turn, I'm like just playing Iceman. That's close. I think I just want to spend the energy. How does Anti-Wolf compare to Stature Wolf? Well, this deck's less interactive, right? This is basically a purely linear deck. Meaning we're just trying to run our opponents down. I think I'm doing this, and then next turn it's like this into this. If you're looking for replacements for cards like White Widow, I'd recommend checking out my latest tier list video on the YouTube channel, where I go through which Series 4 and 5 cards are good, bad, replaceable, or otherwise, and talk about why that is. Check them out. we're talking about Genshin Impact, Liwa, I'll always buy the Battle Pass and Snap because it gives you meaningful things. The Genshin Battle Pass just gives you a bunch of weapons that most of which aren't particularly useful, and then leveling materials that you eventually run out of needing. As long as there's a unique card in the Snap Battle Pass and meaningful currency, it's always the best first pickup. Both of these are fine for me. Yeah, in fact, that's great for me. Thanks, Bud. Appreciate you. So I'll shrink my wolf by 1, but it unlocks me in the center, which I think is worthwhile. Remember, their Jeff can move, so they're not locked in over here. Main reason to get the Genshin Battle Pass is for Serpent Spines. That's the spear, right? I have one of those at R5 and another at R1. You're right that one is good. Oh, the Claymore. I don't have any Claymore characters that need that one. Grimatoni, are you in chat? It's easier to gift a sub if you're in chat. Can Carnage replace Widow here? Carnage is not a card that you could play on curve. Jeff needs a visual indicator when he hasn't moved yet for the opponent. Completely agree. He should float, and Nightcrawler should do the same. How many bottles of Bai do you have in your office now? I don't want to talk about it. This is my safe place. I don't need your judgment. Oh, I think I want to end the dog middle. I think it's just this. I think it's just this. Every time I come here, it's Wolf in a different archetype. We actually did play a couple of non-Wolf decks today. But yeah, we're back. We're back on Doggo, because Doggo's my happy place. We're trying real hard.
Victory.
Honestly, chat, Wolf being B- or C+ tier, so I could feel less embarrassed playing it, but still wouldn't have to play a bunch of mirror matches, would probably be a fine outcome. I am not doing viewer deck submissions today, Dilsky. I need to build back up my backlog of highlight videos for the YouTube channel. And doing viewer decks is usually a good way to not have good highlight content. I think incidental clutter stuff like Debris and White Widow providing meaningful counterplay to Werewolf is a great addition to the game, as well as things like Red Guardian. I just still really desperately need a rework on Professor X because he's so awful. So I have White Widow for Bar Sinister, which is great, But I don't want to snap it till turn 2, because I'd like it to be less obvious that I'm snapping because of Bar Sinister. So, we're gonna snap here. Let me take this line. Cosmic Doppler, thank you for the primer, appreciate it. We actually have priority here too, so depending on even if they play here, there's a good chance we catch them. They'd have to play like a Jeff onto the Bar Sinister to get us here. It's just like also a White Widow when we get him. What a weird play. Is War Machine too expensive to be tech against X? He's just not a very good card. And he requires you put other clunky kind of not good cards in your deck. I can get Professor X this turn because of Ravona. This covers him in both spots. You can fill the right here. But if they fill the right, they're not annihilisting. I mean, that's fine for us, yeah? Yeah, cool.
Victory. Oh, snap.
Did this deck come from the dive, or did Jeff build it? I find the insinuation in your comment insulting. Accusing me of going on the internet and downloading someone else's hard-earned Marvel Snap deck? Wow, gamer. You wouldn't download a card, don't download a deck. Net decking is stealing. This is your friendly reminder. If you're old enough to understand that reference, you should probably stand up and stretch if you're not currently exercising. So, like, this is the play, says local man, about to be Professor X on the left. And they haven't locked in their play yet, so they're hanging out. No, just a got one deal.
Clear for takeoff.
I think I Annie, even though we're probably getting X this turn. They're just like also an Annie deck. I think I need to clear space in the middle. Cannonball middle wins all three. I'm trying to think if I can play around their Annihilus. Playing around a potential Galactus is a good shout, and this does that. We do lose to the Annihilus back. The more I watch this deck, the more I think there's probably something better for it than Wolf. Yeah, there's a very real chance that Wolf is not best in slot in this deck. And that the reason why it's having success is because of all the other cards. The Rocks would have gotten it. That's not true. I would have lost the left. They would have been 11-9.
Snap.
I think this could use a Professor X or a Storm. Marvel Snap Gamer implies that deck would be made better by adding more toxic prison elements to it. Fuck, I hate you for being right. You're very clearly right, but you didn't have to say it. Keep it to yourself next time. Do you want Storm in a Wolf deck? No, we're talking about cutting Wolf for a good card, chat, like Storm. That's the whole point of this conversation. We're talking about cutting Wolf in exchange for a good card. Is Storm as obnoxious as Professor X? No, not even a little. In fact, I would go so far as to say Storm is a good example of a well-designed prison card. The question is, do I cannonball? If they sentry and I cannonball, I lose. They have priority. Oh, they could hobgoblin me as well. Yeah, just did.
Opponent snapped.
Boomer. Yeah, we drew the sentry too, so we would have gotten rewarded for just playing my Annie this turn. Alright. It's time for an ad break. I'm gonna be done with this deck. I think honestly, I'm gonna post this as a highlight. Just because I think this is one of those things where people are gonna ask about it and I would like a reference point, but this was easily the best Beast, Falcon, Werewolf by Night deck I played. And these 12 cards you could probably win a lot with. That being said, I would be very surprised if Werewolf is the best card to play in this slot. I think this deck was 100% carried by the strength of Sentry and Annihilus, and Sage being a good 3 energy stat line as another card. The rest of the package here did a lot of work, and Werewolf felt really clunky and awkward. This card it doesn't have good stats overall and untapped for a reason. The format both has bigger numbers in it for opposing cards, and Werewolf is smaller than he once was, and there's more cards that incidentally clutter your board seeing play that just make it hard to jump the wolf around. He just does not feel strong.